Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello. Excuse me, I have something on my face. How you doing out there in YouTube land? This is Daylise. How you doing? I'm at home. Today's been a very, very unusual day. I want to put a shout out prayer to a friend. His name is Joseph Cook. He's dealing with prostate cancer. Another shout out to another friend. His initials are JJS. And I also want to put a shout out to my kid's biological father, Burles Gray Sr., or anyone that's out there dealing with an illness, whether it's mentally, physically. I just wanted to put a shout out to everybody that's out there. So we're going to go into tying, review the questions that was in the section that I read last week. Death to a bad habit, which is fear, is a special issue. We all fear something. Fear is a habit. What people don't realize, that is one of the more curable habits. Think of it like this. When we were scared, we have thoughts that blow up a balloon of fear. I'm going to die. Everything's ruined forever now. They will think I'm ridiculous now. People who cope well with fear have counter thoughts that puncture holes in this balloon until all their fears leak out. Okay? How do you do that? You use the patent of Kirschenbaum 7-step method for overcoming fear. All that's required is that you ask yourself 7 questions. What am I really afraid of? What is the worst thing that can happen? How likely is it? Can I prevent this? Can I insure myself against this? Go wash your hands, honey. Excuse me. That's my granddaughter. Could I cope with it if this thing I'm afraid of came to pass? Who can I talk to about this? You know? So we're going to talk about tying balloons to the stone, which is our also review. Forgiveness. Scrotum forgiveness, right? So you don't forgive the people in your life who hurt you. So what? Hold on, I gotta plug this light up. One moment. That's not the light. One moment. Give me 1 minute, guys. I'll be right back. Okay. That's better because I can see. All right. Too many lights on. Hold on. I have a lot of lights. You gotta keep smiling. Please get out the water. Thank you. I had to tell her to get out the water because she'll play in the water. You know how kids are. Trinity, out the water, please. Thank you. All right, I'm going to get back to reading this. The review. So what? Who's scared? Cares? Why should this be a big deal? Well, let me tell you about a couple I'm working with right now. They've been married for 14 years. One night in their first year of marriage, they made love in a way that was unsatisfying to the woman. It was late. Go ahead and play golf. Okay. No, I don't know how to put it together, so you're going to have to try to do the best you can. All righty. So that night, she said something to her husband about his being a lousy lover. You don't have much to work with, and you can't do much with that. Words that affect. She didn't really mean it, but she said it naturally. He was very hurt. He was practically hurt because, hold on, okay, because there was some truth to what his wife had said. He knew that she'd intended to hurt him. He could never forgive her. His old spontaneous desire to make love to her evaporated. They almost never had intimacy unless she initiated it. So she stopped feeling that he desired her. And he really did stop desiring her the way you stop wanting to put your hand on a stove. Unforgiveness ate away at their love like termites on a house twigs. Let me get right to the diagnostic questions. Do you think a lot about some of the ways you've been hurt or about disappointments you suffered in the past? Do you get angry a lot or have been holding on to your anger for a long time? Is feeling guilty very much an issue for you? Hold on, guys. Put that back up there. We're not doing that. My granddaughter is sliding things across the floor, and I have a neighbor that lives downstairs, and we're not doing that kind of noise. Let's get back to the subject. Do you spend time having, if only fantasies? If only I did this, if only I did that. Where you think about how your life would be different now if you or someone else had done things differently in the past. Do you often feel envious? In some important way, do you not feel safe or secure in your life? If you answer yes to three or more of these questions, then the reason you went through what you did was for you to get what you needed to forgive yourself or someone else. Really forgive. Not just say the words. The forgiveness that has eluded you is now possible. If this applies to you, you've been given a real gift. You see, not being able to forgive wouldn't be such a big deal if you were like an old dad. Someone from a million years ago borrowed $100 from you, and you lost track of that person. And yeah, you remember the debt. You like your money back, but it doesn't cost you anything to carry that memory around with you in the back of your mind. There's no feeling attached to it. But the inability to forgive is not like that. It's a poison. After all, what you've done to you was a big deal on some level. If it's so hard for you to forgive, maybe you were humiliated. But as you live not forgiving the other person, you keep rehearsing that humiliation over and over in your mind. And just when its embers are about to die out, you fan the flame, feel your humiliation yet again. You're drinking the poison of humiliation. Maybe the other person did something that betrayed a trust. Now, like someone terrified of being hurt, you search for ways you're vulnerable and add up your fears like a miser counting his coins. Counting his coins. Like in the Christmas Carol, a miser. It's poison. You just as much, if most of the time, it simmers outside of your awareness. You know that because of the heat it brings every time it resurfaces. No one intends to be unforgiving, and our society is more something we feel we can't help than something we're proud of. But that's the point. It's really, it really does seem like something we can't help. We've just stuck with it, like someone with an abscess tooth. No dentist to provide relief, but don't imagine only how painful that would be. Imagine how you wouldn't be able to live a normal life with such a toothache. That's what happens when you're stuck, unable to forgive someone else, or when we can't forgive ourselves. We see this every time we open the newspaper these days. Almost every troubled part of the world is a place where violence feeds on unforgiveness. The cycle of violence is utterly dependent on the inability to forgive. Our world is deformed by unforgiveness. So, we'll be going to section 9 of the end of blame. Part of what we can make it so hard for us to forgive is the automatic way we orientate ourselves in life through blame. If anything goes wrong anywhere, the first thing anyone thinks about is who to blame. It's like when you smell a fart in the elevator, the first thing you want to know is who did it. Blame is a very deep instinct because it makes us feel free. If the morality rate in the hospital goes up, mortality rate in the hospital goes up, you figure out who or what to blame, and the rate goes down again. If there's a terrorist attack, but you can figure out who to blame, then you can start feeling safe from terrorists. That series of links, disasters, blame, safety, is a hardwired into us. Blame is the match that ignites forgiveness, unforgiveness, and why we can't forgive. After all, a lot of the time we we when someone accidentally steps on your toe while you're waiting in line at a bank, he or she turns around and profusely apologizes. And what do you say? Oh, it was nothing. But when we can't forgive, it's because we can't bring ourselves to say it was nothing about this particular thing that was done to us. It was too big, too hurtful to say that it was nothing. Would be like saying that we're nothing. Hmm. We can't do that. We can't forgive when it feels like forgiveness involves the of the alienation of the self. So it seems like we're doomed to carry around the poison of unforgiveness. We're trapped in it. No wonder we sometimes need a huge event to shake us loose from the inability to forgive. This may, in fact, be the meaning of some event in your life. Maybe something happened to you a long time ago, and its meaning has been a mystery. Like find a key in a drawer in a dead relative's house and wondering what special lock this key is meant to open, since the key seemed so carefully put away. Yet that event has been the key you've needed to set yourself free from the inability to forgive. If forgiveness is in store for you, I hope it is. It might help to know what it feels like. After all, some of us wouldn't recognize forgiveness if it bit us in the ankle or bit us on. So, How do you end the blame? If forgiveness is in store for you, I hope it is. It might help you to know what it feels like. After all, some of us wouldn't recognize forgiveness if it bit us in the ankle. So next Thursday, we'll talk about the gift of forgiveness. But I'm going to go over some of the questions that's in this section. Sometimes anger just runs its course and dies, and we need to be able to be aware of that fact. Sometimes we actually forget what happened. Sometimes we come to have a better understanding of why people act the way they did. Sometimes we grow to care a lot less about what happened. Sometimes we've made aware of how our lack of forgiveness is hurting us. Sometimes enough good things have happened so that trust is rebuilt with the person who hurt us. So next Thursday, which is August the 24th, we'll be talking about the gift of forgiveness. Remember to smile today. Remember to check up on people. Study with excitement. Meditate with intentions. Inspire someone. Inspire others. Laugh hysterically and elevate to the highest potential. Remember to check out Carla Nicole on YouTube's Wisdom channel, as well as go to www.smilingsilk.com. She's a phenomenal life coach. Peace.